Hi all, welcome to Wisdom Jobs. Myself Jyoti. Today we are here to explain you about various career opportunities. Out of which, counselor. How to become a counselor? So counselor, as the name specifies, it's like counseling or giving more information or molding a person. It can be a student, it can be a husband or a wife, it can be any counselor. You have a career counselor, you have admission counselor, right? So the person who is going to give you extra information or clear all your doubts before you're getting anything into it, before you're getting an admission in a engineering college or a medical college or a school or a college or in any university. Okay, the person who sits or explain you about the pros and cons of the course that you're choosing, okay, and make you understand that how your career path is going on is a counselor job. So today I'm going to give you what all required, what all qualifications, what all skill set required to become a counselor. So job roles for a counselor. So day-to-day assessments for the individual students. So if at all it is a school level counselor, okay, in elementary school or higher education school, he or she should be able to assess the knowledge, okay. While taking an admission into a school, he should be able to assess the knowledge of the student, because there will be certain eligibility criteria to get into the admission, the score 70%, right? There will be a deadline. So before we actually get more students into our school or college, we will have a limitations, we will have an eligibility criteria. So this counselor plays a vital role in choosing the candidates. Design and implementation of broad and long-term programs, making them understand about the small and longer programs. So if at all it is an intermediate courses, right, different courses which includes MSET or long-term, short-term courses, right, for a college or for any institutes for some means, person should be able to handle the student, should be able to deliver, should be able to give complete information about the course, the various programs that you are going to plan or which may help in enhancing the student's career. Develop study and study time management skills, plan academic goals, as I've already said. For any student, person who actually gives you the basic understanding or who actually make you understand about your career path step by step, basing on your choice, basing on your interests, right? Because student, if at all he is not interested, okay, definitely he may get influenced with the peers, definitely he may get influenced with the parents, okay. Without his interest, he may get into any course but end up in failure, right? So that's the reason counselor plays a vital role in making the student understanding that his area of interest is in this subject, and he may score good if at all he choose this course. Definitely it will help him in designing his career. So counselor should be able to educate the student in a right way in the initial stage of the admission. Manage social and behavior problems. So he or she is counselor. So counselor, as the name says, it can be a various counselors. It can be, as I've already mentioned, it can be admission counselor, career counselor, family related counselor, okay. It can be a psychological counselor as well, where you are actually understanding the issue of the patient or a student, making them understand that why exactly it is happening to him, and how can he heal from these things? He can self-heal from these things. So, counselor actually plays a vital role in changing the mindset of the person. Provides guidance to the students in academic and career behavior. So again, for the student, whenever he is actually planning to choose a subject, okay, during his academics, or simultaneously he is into sports also, right? So this counselor, whoever is playing a vital role, he or she will be making him understand simultaneously with the product, with the sports, with other activities, you should have the knowledge about certain subject, right? So that you will have the choice of choosing a right career in future. So these are the job roles as a counselor. So as I've already explained about elementary level of understanding. Elementary level where people, or I can say a kid of a basic level of understanding, will not be able to know or judge things early. So as a counselor, your role is to teach, to educate them that how your institute or how your training program is going to help them in developing their career or skill set or their interests, right? Middle school level need to work with the children who deal with new social pressures and academic challenges. So whenever it comes to middle level school people, so they will have different kind of social pressures. It can be a parenting, it can be a competition in the class, it can be lack of knowledge in certain subject, it can be different kind of understanding mindset. So counselor should understand the position of the student and make them understand कि this is how that you can reach your goal, the shorter steps or the steps that you need to follow. Counselor should get into the level of this middle school people, and he or she will be able to upskill their career. He or she, or the student or the kid, whoever is undergoing the pressure, will be able to heal themselves. How? And this counselor plays a vital role in doing these things. School's curriculum to be benefit of the students. So while preparing the curriculum, this counselor should make sure that you are covering the major activities which may entertain the students, which may help the students psychologically as well, to improve their career growth and getting placed for a job. So as I've already mentioned, the counselor plays a very major role in designing the career of the prospective or a personal, because he or she is going to give a advice to the job seeker, or I can say a student, in designing their career path, correct? So these are the basic rules of the counselor. So what are the basic qualifications required for the counselor? Graduate would be preferred. Graduation in psychology will be an add-on advantage to understand the intensity or the pulse and making or healing the client, I can say the student or a patient's problem. Various sociology students get into this counseling jobs. So as I've already mentioned, you have different career paths. Okay, and for choosing your career paths, the basic skill set that you are required is command on the language and the local languages. Okay, so if at all like you are situated in Mumbai, okay, you have hands-on on English as well as regional language Hindi. Knowledge of additional language will be a benefit for you, because you never know that who all are going to visit your place, right? So person who has actually relocated from Karnataka to Hyderabad, okay, he might be fluent in Kannada but not in Telugu or Hindi, right? So if at all you are a multilingual person, you should be able to answer all the queries in their regional language, and you will be comforting them and make sure that they will understand the concept of the institute, and you will be able to get a lead. Your role is not a marketing thing, but you should make sure whoever is walking to your place for getting the counseling done or attaining something, you should make sure that you are satisfying their needs, you are clearing their doubts, you are making sure that they understand their future vision clearly. Because you are actually into a counselor role, you should be having a knowledge of computers. Basic MS Office skill set is required. Basic domain knowledge about whichever domain that you are into, whichever that field counseling that you are into. It can be a medical related, it can be related to education sector. So whichever field that you are in, you should have a hands-on experience or hands-on knowledge about it, updated knowledge about it. You should be able to, as I've already mentioned, you should be able to convert any walk-in person as a prospective, okay, which will be called as a lead generation. So that is also part of a role for a counselor. As a counselor, you will be invited to the various colleges initially, so that for the next future, what exactly the career path for the students, right? So as for your company, you are representing a institute or a company, right? You are a facilitator, you are a counselor there. So you are going to take seminars and explain about various courses that you have, which will help them in enhancing their career growth. So students will be able to know the importance of joining your institute. Okay, so you should be able to conduct seminars, you should be able to handle their queries in the initial stage. So these are some core skills that you are actually required if at all you are choosing a job of counselor. So what is the career scope? How exactly it will follow? If at all you started with a basic counselor, you will be able to get hired in various schools or universities. You will be able to find the opportunities in specialized training programs and managerial programs, where you're going to counsel their skill set, basing on their skill set, and you will have an opportunity for property counselor. Okay, you will be able to get an opportunity as a finance counselor. You will be able to get an opportunity as an international counselor, educational counselor. Coming on to the property counselor, here you are actually selecting the field of properties, right? Properties that can be different kind of properties. If at all it is a real estate property, you should have a thorough knowledge about what exactly the updates are on those properties, and you should be able to counsel them properly. And financial related counseling, in case you have the background of tally or related to the commerce subjects, you will be definitely able to give your views, explain them, give the ideas of how to choose their career growth or financial background in case they have any problems, or how to resolve their financial issues. You will be able to facilitate in giving a right answers. International counseling, it varies. So international counselor, if at all like you are giving the counseling to apart from the people who are from other part of the world, okay, who are actually understanding the concept or the culture of your country, okay, there is a scope for the international counselor. Educational counselor, as I've already mentioned, it can be an admission counselor, or a career counselor. The average salary of a counselor will be around 16,000 per month, and gradually, whenever you earn more experience, you are actually getting more leads, or you're able to turn out more prospects, your salary will be increased by the management depending on the performance. So this is how the counselor plays a vital role in designing the career of the students. So usually corporates hire, schools and colleges hire counselor at the time of admissions to increase their admissions. So basic thing that counselor should have in his mind is not to market the product, but to understand the requirement of the student and facilitate and explain them how your institute is going to help them in building or enhancing their career. I hope this video is really helpful in choosing your path as counselor. It can be a career counselor or admission counselor or psychology counselor, if at all you are a student related to that. Kindly do like, comment and share the video. Also subscribe our channel Wisdom Jobs. Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead.